Oh, you thought a short, a 10-minute video and a 90-minute podcast, and I was going to be done talking today. So first things first, I want to make sure that you understand that the President of the United States, his wives, his children, his best friend, and his best friend's wife ran an international sex trafficking ring for the better part of 20 years, all so they could amass wealth and build a resort like golf course on the Gaza Strip. It's about finally making it. And then the idea is Israel moves into the Gaza Strip. They've got the protection of the Iron Dome. I'm imagining like a U.S.-Israel military base right between them, right? So he's got a guaranteed cash cow. Remember how he said, if you serve, you're a sucker and a loser? This loser's pointing that shit out miles before he dies, and that's what his family decides to do. So understand that that's the entire point. And he's trying to it's like he's trying to rob us and sneak out the back door to Israel. That's where he's going. That's exactly the plan. So not to Israel, but like to Bibi. Why wouldn't you go? Anyway, so I want to make sure we say that. We should say that like every day. Like, he's a pedophile and he ran a sex trafficking ring, and Donald J. Trump was the primary financier of Epstein Island, is what the media is not saying. It was like all him. It was his investment. He put $1 billion into Jeffrey Epstein, and what it got was Donald Trump connected to every world leader and CEO that would also fuck children. And so when J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, says there are a lot of Democrats and left-leaning people on the Epstein list, then it's like, hey, let's see the Epstein list. Unredacted. Left side, right side, don't give a shit. Democrat, Republican, I don't care. Fuck them. All of them. And I don't mean literally. That's weird. But I do mean, like, I saw the pictures of Bill Clinton and Bill Gates. Unleash the hounds. Let's see it. But I also wanted to make that video, and then in the same video say, it's not because it's the nation's capital. The reason that Donald J. Trump and Stephen Miller, who has recently referred to Washington, D.C. as Baghdad, the reason they're sending in the police and the feds and fucking the military is because 76% of the people in Washington, D.C. vote Democrat. It's the highest odds of a stray bullet hitting a Democrat. It means that for Donald Trump, he wants to kill black people. And so you got to remember, one of your earliest core memories of Donald J. Trump is that he was a racist landlord in New York City. And he also falsely accused 5 black boys in Brooklyn, New York of murder. And paid over $250,000 to multiple newspapers and ran this story about these 5 boys committing rape and murder. And they all did time. Like, some of them a decade or more, and one of them served more than 20 years for a crime they didn't commit. He did that a long time ago. Look up Central Park 5. But he also, I'm going to make sure we say that like all in one video, that's who this person is. And again, that the reason that they're doing all this is to enrich themselves at the expense of all their victims and all the people that have died. And also to keep all of those people from ratting him out. Because if they're not unaliving, they're going to talk eventually. And Donald Trump is basically like, this is what organized crime looks like, with incompetency at the top. So, yeah. I wanted to make sure we made that video and make sure we say it all. The reason it's Washington, D.C. is not because it's the nation's capital. It's not even because that's where Donald Trump spends the majority of his time. He spends the majority of his time on a golf course or at Mar-a-Lago, where he's from in Florida. So Donald Trump and Stephen Miller are unleashing law enforcement, the military, and the feds on Washington, D.C. It's racially motivated. It's because for the first time in over 50 years, less than half of the non-white population in Washington, D.C. is black. This means black people are leaving Washington, D.C. And it's like Donald Trump wants to send in the feds and have them kind of kick people on the way out. as black people smartly leave cities where the feds and the military and the police are being weaponized by the government. And it isn't the first time it's happened. But I want to make sure we call spades spades, right? And want to make sure we say 76% to vote Democrat, 45% non-white. This Washington, D.C. is one of the most diverse cities in the United States. And one of the most left-leaning. Or middle upholding, kind of depending on how you break on that. But yeah, I want to make sure we point it out before a body drops that the intent is to kill people of color. Notice the lack of ICE. We're not talking about immigration, are we? We're talking about the weaponization of federal law enforcement, local law enforcement, and the military against your political opponents and non-white people. Call it what it is. Look it dead in the eye and say exactly what that is. Majority Democrat, majority non-white, racially motivated.